What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? It has been quite some time. Groundfog, how you doing? Thank you very much for always being the first comment. Appreciate that. Palmer, how you been? Glad you're here. Rookie of the year, showing support, so very much appreciate that. And Crispy, how you doing? Brutal, Crispy, how you doing? Very much appreciate you being here. Kind of jumped on I was supposed to go last night, and then some stuff got around, and I was working at 4 o'clock in the morning this morning. So, no, I had to get up at 4 because I was working at 5 in the morning. What's up, P&W Funworks? How you doing? So I decided not to do a late night last night just because there was too much going on, and I knew I was going to be exhausted all day. So I thought I'd push it off till tonight. And I know there's a couple other streams going on, so we're not expecting a big crew tonight, but we're going to have fun with whoever shows up. So, hey, Knife Nut, how you doing? Glad you are here. Let me see if I can turn that music down a little bit, because maybe it's just on my end. Yeah, let's just turn it down there. I don't know. Is the music loud for y'all? Music seems loud for me, at least. Maybe it's just because I have it blaring through my speaker right here. But let me know if the music's loud. I feel like it's loud, although it probably isn't. It's probably just me being silly. No way! That is awesome! That is so sick. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, P&W Funworks. That's so cool. I'm so stoked for that. That's awesome. I appreciate that. What's up, El Cap? How you doing? El Cap, I saw something tonight. I know that you are kind of a Benchmade dude, and this may be something that is completely outside of your taste, but I know you're kind of a Benchmade person. I saw a Bedlam 860 Benchmade, the discontinued one, on Blade Binge, and it's a really nice Benchmade. I had one for a while, got rid of it a while ago, and I saw that and I thought about you, and I was like, I wonder if El Cap has seen that and if he likes that, because it is a sought-after Benchmade that is discontinued. So I thought I'd mention it since I see you there. But also, howdy, El Cap. Thanks for joining. So, yeah. Don't like trailing points. No problem. I looked at that too, and I was like, I don't know. That was literally like one of the thoughts. I was like, I don't know if that's going to be his blade style. From the knives that I've seen and know that you have had, I was like, it doesn't seem like a blade style that you would like, but I know you're a Benchmade guy, so I thought I'd take a shot in the dark anyways. But that's a good question. Crispy, are you tired of everyone calling you Crispy instead of Brutal? Crispy, would you prefer Brutal or Crispy? Because I'll call you Brutal if you want to be called Brutal, but I'll call you Crispy. Or you could be CCB, Crispy Critter Brutal, or BCC. Oh no, I dropped part of my snack. I caught it. It's still here. I've got a Korean barbecue little Golden Island nuggets, beef jerky nuggets. We had these things on our trip these last 2 weeks, and they're delicious. Just get a big bag of them from Costco, and then they're all these little prepackaged things. They're dried, smoked, seasoned. They've got little sesame seeds on them. You get a little bit extra crunch. They're delicious. I really like these things. So there's enough protein in them. Not a ton. 10 grams of protein per package. They're little packages, but yeah, I like them. They're good. It's nice little. Euro 6. Lake Union. Awesome. So glad to have another P&W in here in the house. Let's see if we can do this. What's up, Pocket Razors? How you doing? I think I caught you before anybody else did to time you out pocket razors, so you should be a moderator now. Same with you, Hero Sticks. You should have standard moderator as well now. I would agree 100%. They have some fixies that have more of a sheep's blade, but other than that, that's about it. They don't have a ton of sheep's blade in their profile or in their selection at all, and their product line is definitely lacking. I had someone come into the shop 3 days ago, and they were talking, and this is a different shop. This isn't where I work. Someone came into a shop and we were looking at knives, and they were talking about Benchmade as the best American-made knife. And I could tell that they clearly weren't a knife person, because that was the statement they made. And not that Benchmades aren't great. There's just so much more out there. And that was part of the conversation led from not even my point. I was listening to a conversation in the shop between the guy behind the counter and the guy coming up. And the guy behind the counter was very much like, hey, I think you should probably expand your horizon a little bit and look at some other stuff, because there are some really good knives out there that aren't Benchmade. Started showing him other knives and stuff like that and everything, and kind of showed him how like Benchmade's actually been doing the same thing for years and they haven't expanded. Not that it's bad, but there's a lot newer things out there that people have taken feedback on and changed, and Benchmade just has this like narrow margin where they stay. They'll do one-offs here or there, but they just kind of stay through that narrow margin. They continue to raise the price and the value on it, I guess, but yeah. What is up, Neil McKenzie? How you doing? Neil McKenzie, I got some little island nugget Korean barbecue beef jerky pieces tonight. I'm getting a little bit of belated protein through the night. Nathan, what's up? Yeah, back from some family vacations. I will tell you, there's some wild stories from the family vacations, but I'm not gonna be having a ton of stories tonight. Tonight I'm just gonna kind of chill and relax. Although I do have a show and tell on my vacation. I'm going to show you that much right there. And then I'll show you the rest later. But a little show and tell from the family vacation that I'm really glad I got this. It was a steal of a deal for sure. And so had a great couple weekends. We went down to kind of the convergence of the Columbia River where it meets the ocean. And we were in Fort Stevens on the Oregon side for a little bit, camping out. And then we were north of Astoria in Long Beach, about 35 minutes north of Astoria in Washington, Long Beach, Washington. And so for about a week there as well, which was fun. And we did some hiking, we did some biking, had some beach time, had a lot of family time, which was great. My kids are missing their cousins like crazy. I get every day, hey, I want to go see my cousins. But yeah, it was pretty good. So, but definitely glad to be back. Glad to have a little bit more free time to do some fun stuff. So yeah. A Cap Hero Stick says he's been collecting a while, but perhaps weirdly have never handled a Benchmade. The Mediadamus in the little immunity are the ones that stand out. But those prices, that's definitely the prices that gets everyone. It's you pay a butterfly tax. It's what you do. They're great. I mean, they're cool knives, but you're gonna pay more for them because they're a Benchmade, and that's ridiculous, in my opinion. Had Chipotle yesterday for the first time. The first time, really? Chipotle is a really good option. That was across the street from my work in Arizona. So oftentimes we would go out and just get Chipotle across the street. Or if we had like a meeting and there was like 6 or less, we would like have Chipotle for our meeting, and we'd pay for Chipotle to come to our meeting, and we'd go pick it up and bring it back and have Chipotle at our meeting, which was great. And so Chipotle was my go-to for a while there. It's good. It's not like authentic Mexican by any means. So like when you're in Arizona, if you want Mexican food, go somewhere else. Chipotle is not Mexican food. It's like Baja kind of. But yeah, it's really good. Chipotle is really, really good. Their like cilantro lime rice is my favorite. It's so delicious. Um, but yeah, it's good stuff. Glad that you were able to finally enjoy some Chipotle because it's a good option. Hero El Cap responded and said a lot more people like the Mini Adelmas, but I've never held one. Not sure about people's sentiment towards the immunity other than people mentioning it's small like the Mini Adira, which seems like a lightweight version, not too different from the Mini Adelmas. I would agree with the Adira Adamas thing. I don't get why people, when people pick up the immunity or when they see the immunity and they're expecting it to feel like a full-size knife, just look at the dimensions. It's not a full-size knife by any means. It's not trying to be a full-size knife. It's meant to be a small knife. That's what it is. It's meant to be a small knife. I think people want it to be a big knife because they like it. They like the style of it, but the mini immunity or the immunity is made to be a small knife. It just is. And it's a small knife with that little lanyard off the end and the bead so you can get a little extra hold on to if you wanted to, but that's what it's made to be. I like them for the size they are because that's what they're made to be. They're made to be that size and be that style of knife. It's made to be a smaller, compact knife. It's not made to be a big knife. So when people make that comment, I'm just like, yeah, that's like buying a Prius and being like, it's not a Mustang. Well, duh. It's not a Mustang. It's not meant to be a Mustang. It's not meant to go fast. It's not meant to have muscle behind it and torque. It's meant to be economical and have great gas mileage and all the good stuff that comes with that. So that's what I say to people who do that. But yeah. What is up, Joe? How you doing? Joe, I'm gonna be sending you something in like the next month, probably. So be on the lookout. I will reach out before I send it for sure. But I'm going to be sending you something that I would love to get a sheath made finally from you. So I will reach out before I send it so you don't just randomly have something shown up and you're like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with it? But I'm going to be sending you something. So I'm pretty excited. I got 2 knives and I'm going to be sending one to Terry and I'm going to send one to Joe and get a sheath from both of them made. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah. Starbucks snags Chipotle CEO. I did not realize that. That's a baller move on Starbucks' part. Starbucks needs a little bit of help with some of their choices and engagement and policies and stuff. At least from what it looks like from the outside. I'm not on the inside and I don't know. And I really don't care to know. So I shouldn't speak about it. But I'm going to because it's late and I talk about stuff. So I'm so glad, Palmer, you're back. All right, good. Whew, we can start talking now. Palmer is here. Thank you very much, Palmer. Appreciate you coming back. I do actually very much appreciate you coming back. So thank you. Thank you. We live on a boat. When we moved out to the Seattle area, we looked at a boat, but it's too small for me, my wife, and our 2 kids. We need a lot of space for the kids. But man, I would love to live on a boat. I really, truly would. I think it would be awesome. I used to do houseboating trips for like a week when I was younger. And I know there's probably way more than you spend a week on a houseboat versus living on a houseboat, but it was amazing. It was so much fun. And it was great. And there's something about sleeping on a boat that just like, there were some nights that got a little freaky through the years, but most of the time we would be on lakes and stuff and the waves wouldn't get too bad. Even through storms, it wouldn't get too bad. And we were always anchored pretty well. So we didn't have to worry about too much, but there's something special about it. What is up, Donnie? How you doing? I've got a Korean barbecue, dried, smoked, seasoned, has some sesame seeds on it. I've got 2 little packages of these that I'm going to be chowing down on tonight. There's some leftover snacks from our little camping trips and vacations over the last 2 weeks. So I'm excited to be snacking on those. And thank you very much. Just looking at that, you're shipping out my stuff in the morning. That's awesome. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. Yes. I'm going to be getting Bless Knives Custom shipped out to me tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. I'm so stoked. I'm really excited for the knife. And it turned out like better than I could have pictured it. And so, yeah. Excited to get it in hand. Excited to carry it and take it out and use it some and all that good stuff. For sure. The immunity looks small and cold. The immunity is small, plain and simple. There's no way around that. TV dinner, chicken, corn, mashed taters. Very nice. Hard to choose something from the Spider Coast Salt series or the Quiet Carry over. So the choice would be, you're clearly, like you said, a boat guy looking for something that has corrosion resistance. Man, yeah. There are so many nice knives out there that have like a Magna Cut or a Vanex or something like that. That's going to give you some really great corrosion resistance though. So I wouldn't limit yourself, really. There's actually some really nice, because last year Magna Cut was so hot like Hansel. It was definitely one of the top metal choices for most designers, that you can find a lot of really good Magna Cut stuff. But just do your due diligence, and honestly, check out some channels like Rochambeau, who talks about a lot of these makers and where they are hitting their heat treat for their Magna Cut and stuff, because he's going to give you some good knowledge so you can make sure you're getting a really good heat treat on the Magna Cut, so you're not just getting good corrosion resistance, but it's actually treated properly so it's going to work the way it's supposed to. No Alaskan Bushman tonight. He's flying out in, I think he said he was going to leave to the airport at around 10 o'clock. So I told him, I said, don't worry about joining tonight. Get some sleep. Have safe travels. I'll catch up with him this weekend. We'll probably do a breakfast Sunday if he's free with Steve Clare. And Ethan, maybe. I think I saw Ethan said with his new job, he's not going to be able to do some Sunday breakfasts. But it's been about a month and a half since I've been able to make a breakfast with them. And it's been like 2 months since I've seen Steve Clare. So I definitely want to try and get a breakfast this weekend with Steve and Stevie if we can, and Ethan if he's available. And Maddie if he wants to drive up from Arizona, and really anybody else in the Pacific Northwest area. Let us know if you want to join for breakfast. Shoot me a message on Instagram, and if we have a Sunday brunch, I'll let you know where we're going, and you can come check out some sweet biscuits, because there's some really good biscuit spots up here that we go to. My favorite, you can get biscuits and jam together. Whew, some good stuff. Some good like strawberry jam or like blackberry jam. Not a big boysenberry person, but I do like raspberries too. I'm not a big CF. I don't like many of Benchmade CF. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Mini Adamas looks awesome, but I don't like a lot of Benchmade CF that they do. It's just, I don't know. Let's move this box. I think I might have a CF bug out here. No, I got a lot of Osbornes here. I have 4 Osborne, 2 minis and 2 full size. 3 actually. So I've got the Blade HQ Osborne. I've got the This is an REI exclusive Osborne. And then I've got a regular Osborne. I've got the SHOT Show mini Osborne. And I've got the black mini Osborne as well too. I really like Osbornes. If y'all have never seen my first video ever, not my first video ever. My first video was a Kunwu. But one of my first videos, I think when I got 100 subs, that video was me giving away an Osborne because it was one of my absolute favorite knives of all time. I just found this down there too. This is my Jack Wolf's Gunslinger. This thing is sweet. Some of the new Gunslingers are really nice. I really like the way that they're done. But this blue carbon fiber is just this is a Jack Wolf that I will gladly pay extra for, and I will 100% one day send this to like Knife Modders or something and see if they can doll it up for me, because I want one super mega glitzy glam over the top knife before I'm dead in my collection. I just do. I don't care really what it is, but I want one. Well, I do care what it is, but I want one. Steve, I was just talking about you. I was like, I haven't seen Steve Clur in like 2 months, and I miss it. And I was saying how this weekend, if Stevie gets back safe and sound, we need to do a meetup. And do oh yes, that would be awesome. But we'll do a meetup this weekend for breakfast, for brunch on like a Sunday morning or something, because I need more Steve in my life. So closer to talk about Blade Show. So yes, I've been under the weather per se. Not really sick, just completely burnt out. I messaged Stevie the other day and just asked him for some good places to up here, just to like go and let the water run through my mind and just kind of disappear on some stuff, because I was like, I've just been burnt out. Too many side projects, too many little hobbies going on, as well as like work and the 2 kids and all that stuff. So I just got burnt hard. And then all the vacation, even though the vacation is nice, it's so much work with 2 toddlers. So I just needed to take a rest. And every day I had full intention of like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then next week we'll do 2 instead, because I need to catch up. And then next week came around and I was even more exhausted. And then last night thought about doing it. And then I was like, well, I work at 5:15 in Seattle, so I'm definitely not going to be going there. Staying up super late last night, so figured I'd do it tonight. So I'm back though, and recharged and refreshed and everything. So that makes sense. I will agree with you there. I think the CF is better than the Grivery Adira. So I definitely agree with you on that. Ooh, 940-1. Palmer, what were you talking about? Nordhavens. So you're going to live on a boat, a 50-foot boat. That's awesome. Palmer, you have the childhood I wanted. I hate you, but I also don't at the same time. What is up, Jesse? How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Glad to have you here. Hanging out for a little bit. Mark Parks, what is up? How you doing? Sorry if I missed you throughout there, but glad to see you. Got a stompin' berry yesterday? What? Stompin' berry? Like, did you go berry stomping? Did you go step on berries? Did you make something? Ethan was back to Florida. That's why. That makes sense. That makes sense then. I get it. I knew he mentioned something about not being able to make the next like couple months or something. So that would make sense. He got called back to Florida. Yeah, everyone's got a little bit of that going on. And that's why I think there's that phrase that everyone hears, but the grass is always greener on the other side, because you see all the good. But to walk a mile in someone's shoes, you'd really learn to respect someone or feel their pain. So, yeah. A new transmission. That's no fun. That's expensive. That is expensive. Transmission. I had a transmission go out in my car when I was in high school, and a buddy of mine, his uncle, helped me come over and replace some of the belts, and the transmission took like 3 or 4 days. His uncle would come over after work and help us do it, because I had no idea what I was doing. Never dropped a transmission out of a car and put a new one in, but he definitely helped us, and that was pretty cool. And he did it for free, so that was very helpful. I had to buy the parts still, but he came over and donated his time and knowledge to help us figure it out, which was awesome. A 100-hour review? Like, you used it for 100 hours, or you filmed for 100 hours? Like, this is a 4-day video. I'm going to watch this thing for 4 days straight. I'm just going to put on P&W Funworks and watch 4 days straight of the Civivi storm howl. And slowly but surely, the blade play is starting to come after the button lock use. Just more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And after I get to like hour 77, it's clearly just going to be a wash. And I'm like, well, they can't fix it now, but I'll continue to watch the rest of the 23 hours after 77, because I want to see if it makes its way back. So I'm going to watch this 100 hour. Oh, no, that's not at all what it was. You use knives for 100 hours and then you have a playlist on your channel. That makes sense. That makes way more sense. You have a 100 out, you use them for 100 hours and then you watch it. Yeah, what I said initially didn't make sense, to have a video for 4 days straight. That'd be a lot of filming. That'd be a lot of filming to have a 100-hour. You should, don't do this. This is a horrible idea, but I'm going to tell you anyways. You should find like your favorite knife and film yourself using it for 100 days, 1 hour a day. And then at the end of it, you can have a bunch of clips from every day. And you can make, this is my 100-hour review of my favorite knife, filmed over 100 days, an hour each day. And the video doesn't have to be 100 hours, but you get at least a clip from each hour you film over the days, and you can see something going on with it, or how you've changed it, or we could see like you evolve over the 100 days too. Like your beard would get scragglier, you'd change shirts. One day you'd have like flies around your hair, and the next day you'd be like going to a wedding, so you'd be like in a suit and a tie, and you'd be like, I'm still got my knife. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's a horrendous idea. I have the Devo nip. I have the prototype of it. It's pretty sweet. I really like it. I've got 2 of them. I've got the Nip Light prototype, and then I've got one of the original nips. But the Nip Light, I believe, is the newest one that's coming out. I did handle the pass around one, but I have the Nip Light. I don't have anybody to entertain y'all if I go grab it, but it's inside. So I'm going to pause real quick. Y'all are going to look at the background, and then actually you can just look at this. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to go grab it. If I come back and somebody's gone, I'm going to disown you, all of you, for that one person leaving. And that's totally okay with me, because that's a choice that y'all can make. Oh man, nobody left. We actually gained one. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I said if somebody left, I'm going to disown you all. I never said anything about gaining someone. Maybe I should leave again. Maybe more people will join. But no. Yeah, this is the Nip Light Hero Sticks. This is fantastic. When I got it, I carried it for like 2 weeks straight. It's a really good like fifth pocket box knife. This one was Kevin's. This was the prototype that Kevin carried for a while, which is why it has the two little marks right here because he's a lefty, so he had the clip on the left side. And I flipped it back over, and I really like it. We were talking about the immunity earlier. This is like the size of the immunity to me. Like I should get my hands on an immunity and do a side-by-side to show people the difference between the two. And then you've got the price difference between like the immunity and something like this as well. So both aluminum. You've got, I want to say 14C with this. This is the prototype, so it's just D2. But yeah, it's a sweet little knife for sure. Really like this one. What's up, Nathan? You texted me. Let me see. You did not text me. You did text me. No, yes, you did. Yeah, bro, I sent you a link already. It's on your Instagram. Sent me a text message, but I already sent you a link. It's on your Instagram. Yeah, it's a sweet little one for sure. I step away for 30 seconds and he's gone. I'm back, Palmer. I just had to go get this because we were talking about the Nip Light. Only Mimo is here with the joke. Mimo would have his Rolodeck going through. There's really nothing wrong with it. It actually is really good. I'm very particular about my Ultim. I've got 2 Ultim knives, and those are probably going to be the only 2 Ultim knives I get. I am going to be honest, I don't think I would like this knife. I would not recommend this knife in Ultim by any means. I think the aluminum is great for this knife. I would not recommend this in Ultim. It's just throwing it out there. I think this is a good aluminum knife, and that's where it would be. I know Sea Riser Cutlery has the exclusive, but I would go with an aluminum personally. So yeah. What is up?
What's up, man? It's really good to see you again.
You too. How you been?
Good. Staying busy. Still hot as hell out here. Still spending stupid on knives. Still working my freaking life away. Same stuff. Same stuff.
Cool. It's not hot here, so I like that. It's actually, well, I will say, being back for about a year now, I've acclimated myself to the Pacific Northwest, so I'm no longer like in Arizona climatization. So it was like 77 the other day, and I was sweating, and I was like, man, it's so hot. It needs to cool down. I called a buddy, and he was like, it's 103 here. What are you talking about? And I was like, you don't know what I'm going through. And he was like, yeah, I hate you.
My wife's uncle, he lives in Phoenix. I think either Phoenix or Flagstaff. I can't remember which one. And anytime he comes down over here around this time of year, maybe another month or so further in, he comes wearing like joggers and a sweater. But the nights here will still be around 78, maybe low 80s, and he's like, I'm freezing. It's cold. He's a really big guy.
Yeah.
So he's got enough on him to shelter himself. Mm-hmm. But he swears that he's cold, and everybody over here is still in shorts and basketball shirts or whatever, just chilling.
The nice thing though is like your winter is fall for most people, so you're never really gonna get super cold. Like you probably don't have a big puffy winter jacket.
No, I don't. I got a couple like little sporty like windbreakers, a nice leather jacket, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Do you have snow boots?
no,
so.
no snow boots. we rarely ever get snow. So I mean, you would think being as high elevation as I am, and here in the high desert, we're just so far in that we just don't get enough. Yeah, we just get all like the cold winds. There's just no water mixed with
moisture.
Yeah, it's just dry as hell all the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But hey, I actually hopped in on the video when you were mentioning about some guys talking about Benchmade being the best thing.
Did you see this from Hero Sticks?
Oh yeah, dude. Just take your time on that. There's no rush. I'm not going anywhere. The prices are still there. Nothing's changed. You know, whenever you want to send them over, just let me know. Or one at a time, doesn't matter. So
here's a size reference for people. This is the pony stout, and then the nip. Like it is a very small knife.
I've been eyeballing one of those little guys, and with one of the Damascus kits.
Yeah,
I think that would just be freaking sweet.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I ran into a similar situation where there was this Army veteran dude that was at a. I was working at a Walmart up there in Santa Clarita, and this guy comes in, and he, me and another merchandiser, we were talking about like pocket knives, and he likes to use more tactical gear and utility knives, and I like normal people knives, you know, for basic utilitarian tasks.
Yeah.
And this veteran dude comes over, and he just kind of butts in the conversation. He's like, "Oh, you guys like knives?" He's like, "Check this out," and he pulls out. I look like a Blade HQ exclusive, like Desert Storm Kalashnikov Auto, and I've never handled one of them before. And this thing was like beat to crap. Like this dude actually like hard uses, borderline abuses this knife. Like it has scratches all over the place. First time I've ever checked out a Kalashnikov because I can't buy one. And I thought it was really cool. But then he started talking about Benchmade, and he's like, "Yeah, when I was in the service, we all were given Benchmade stuff during service, and even little gifts afterwards. You know, basically to use at home." And he was just talking about all this like good stuff about Benchmade, and I told him, I was just like, "Hold on to your fucking socks." And I had my my full size Sabenza 31. Dude, I put this in his hands. He damn near like crapped himself. I told him, I was just like, "You think Benchmade is expensive and, you know, as high as a quality as the US can produce?
Yeah.
Let me put you on one, man." And he was just he was having a little difficulty with the thumb stud because it's a big difference from a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But he was just like, "This is just incredible." Like I could see like him having such a time just wrapping his mind around how different and unique it felt. And he was saying that folding knives wasn't really a big thing for him. It was mainly, you know, fixed blades and things like that he used. But he had never heard about Chris Reeve knives or a lot of different other names that I was throwing at him. Because, I mean, Benchmade just has such a big marketing department. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they've got they've built like an amazing brand in Oregon. Like they're not based in Portland. Someone in the chat probably knows, but I'm blanking on where they're actually from. But they have such an amazing, like once you cross the border from Washington down to Oregon, and especially in like the Pacific Northwest, they've got a pretty good band, but especially in Oregon because they're from Oregon, they have such an amazing like reputation and brand that it's going to carry them for a really long time because of that. And it doesn't matter what the cost is, people are going to be like, yeah, it's Benchmade. It's made right here. This is where it's from. This is where they designed it. This is what happened. And so it's like you go to Colorado, Spyderco, same thing. Like we've driven through stores in Colorado, and then you get Spydercos like crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're from Golden, Colorado.
Yeah.
Earth.
Don't forget Earth.
Earth, yeah. Earth is a good one. So that's always my go-to though. When people are like, or thank you, Palmer, Oregon City. That's so stupid. You should remember that. They're in Oregon. They're from Oregon City. How can I not? It's in Oregon somewhere. Oregon City, Oregon. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I'm so dumb. Thank you, Palmer. But no, it's when people are always like, hey, I really want a Benchmade. I want something made in America. I want this. I always point out Hogue and Spyderco. I'm like, go check out Hogue. Go check out Spyderco.
Yeah.
Because you're going to save probably a ton of money, and you're going to get really good quality stuff. And you've got better selections on like some premium materials too. Like you've got some better selections on more than just the deck knives, more than just the recent Magna Cut knives that Benchmade came out with. Like both Hogue and Spyderco have really nice corrosion resistant knives that you can choose from.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So.
I've talked to plenty of people. Like in my line of work, I get to meet so many different people all over, within maybe an hour's reach in every direction. And I'm constantly talking about knives, right? And everybody has utility knives on them because of working, in the same industry. A lot of cardboard boxes, paper, things like that. They go through straps, basic stuff. But most places, unfortunately, you can't have knives because it's kind of frowned upon or it's unsafe or things like that. But every once in a while, I do end up running into somebody that they actually know about a couple other brands, even like Chinese made brands as well. But they always seem skeptical. Like I've heard of people, they're like, yeah, I saw this one website, Blade HQ. It looked a little sketchy. I was just like, dude, the Blade HQ is one of the first places I ever spent money on. And I can't even count how many knives I've bought from them. But
I will say their website looks very cheap though. Like they did not spend a lot of money on that website. They're like, we're just gonna post pictures. We're gonna have a bottle cap in the background of all the pictures, and then there's gonna be our logo behind a white background, and that's all it's gonna be. Like they didn't spend any money making that website. Nope. They just made it as cheap as possible. And so I can fully understand when people are like, this looks sketchy. I was like, yeah, right, it does, but it's only taken like half a dozen's people identity before. Yeah,
only half a dozen. The only sketchy spot I ever bought a knife from was that Knives Global place. But I mean, they're legit too. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people that they know about knives, but maybe they're hesitant because certain things aren't available at local shops or gun shops or anything like that, or sporting goods stores, and companies like Gerber, Benchmade, ZT, maybe Hogue every once in a while, Buck. I mean, they own sporting goods stores basically.
They've got amazing contracts and really good relationships that they've been around. All those companies have been around for a long time. Yeah. And they started with these companies before all these Chinese companies came over here with these new knives and everything. I mean, most of the Chinese companies that we know and like follow and have only been making stuff that we've been following for like 20 years, 30 years plus maybe. Whereas like Buck, CRK, Kershaw, like ZT, all these companies have been around for 50 plus, 60 plus, 80 years. So they've got the relationships built in already.
Yeah. But every once in a while when I run into somebody and I tell them, oh yeah, this is one of my main hobbies right now. And they're like, holy crap, like what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I just refer them to, of course my channel, then other channels. I'm like, yeah, watch this guy, watch that guy. Or this guy shows off a lot of this guy talks about a lot of that. Everybody's at a different stage of the collecting process and using hard using. What they believe a grail is. All this different kind of stuff. You could talk for hours about this kind of stuff with strangers, and there are people that are genuinely interested, but it's just that fear of like spending a lot of money online, for a knife. Like it almost sounds sketchy. Almost sounds like it's illegal. Like I'm buying a weapon online.
It does, because it makes you stop and think a little bit more on like what you're doing, and it makes you when you buy something like this on Amazon for $30. You're like, oh sweet, that's a great knife. And knife collectors are going to know that it's a Rat 1, Rat 2. And you're like, oh, that's great. Like, that's awesome. And then you look at something like this, and you're like, okay, that steps it up a little bit more, which is great. And then you'll have like, okay, now here's a brand you've never heard of, Kunwu. And you'll be like, and this is a $300 knife. Like, wait. How did we go from $30 to $300 like that? And I have no idea. You can go to like knife stores at your local in your local town or whatever, and they'll be like, Kunwu who? Like a lot of times they don't know who it is or whatnot, and so it definitely makes people think twice. But
like we have a
what's up?
Turner's Outdoorsman in
Kunwu?
Palmdale. Kunwu. And the most expensive thing they have there are some of their ZTs.
Yeah.
So. Speaking of Kunwu, dude, oh wow, that was embarrassing. I got the compadre. It's the little guy.
Did you?
This thing is freaking sweet. I absolutely love it. So, you remember how I had the normal one, the regular one?
Yeah.
Dude, I regretted selling that, but I needed the money at the time. And when I saw this, it landed. Well, it became available on the 1st of this month.
Yeah.
And it barely came in on the 13th or 14th. So the shipping speed has improved by like double, which is awesome. Definitely. But I mean, this thing is obviously still breaking in, but it's built just as well. And another thing too that I noticed, I probably won't be able to show it off too well, but the execution of the plunge grind is the tightest I've ever seen. Like this thing is way thinner than the original, and it's all performance oriented. It's pretty sweet. So it still has their multi-row ceramic bearings, so you can't put skiffs in yet, as far as I know. But I've been messing around with that a lot, and then the Huey Hound. This dude right here.
Nice. Did you see this?
Oh yeah, dude, I saw that thing. What were you calling it? The Giga
Chad. The Giga Chad. So it's just the Chad with their bar lock. And then it's got ZDP 189 for the steel, and then Timascus for everything, and then they've got a mirror finish on pretty much all of it, which is kind of insane. And that post, I think that went live today.
I believe so.
I posted that just for Kyle, because I know Kyle loves Kunwu. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I don't think I'll get one as much as I want one. Because
that's not gonna happen for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean they're like $700, which for everything that they're offering is a great price. But I mean, Kunwu always has a great price, but it's still $700. And like I was talking at the beginning of this live, I was like, I by the end of my like life, I want like one or two really nice, like to the walls, all the bells, no bars pulled, not pulling out all the stops, like really fancy knife.
Yeah.
And that would, like, for me, that would be like the beginning of really, really, really fancy knife, because you got like the mirror finish Timascus scales, ZDP 189. It's so nice. But it's a production knife still. I would want like one of one for that, and then it would be there for me. But yeah,
there are
cool.
so many people that could, that could work on something like that for you nowadays. I mean, the options are almost endless with materials and looks and designs. And even if you wanted to get something that's just an art knife, never to cut a single, anything, that's definitely possible. And people be that kind of stuff. That's completely
I mean, that's why like there's a couple knives that I want to get another compact towel because this is still probably my favorite knife in my collection. I really like it. I want to get another compact towel, and I want to send it to like Knife Modders and be like, do your worst. Like, make it shine. Like, make it shine. I don't care. Just make it look amazing. So everyone's going to envy it. No one's going to be able to copy it. I want it to be like just balls to the walls. Just make it amazing. And then I can still have my like
coat the whole thing.
Yeah. But then I can be like, I can still have my daily user for my compact. Because this is my favorite knife. You have hands that just give you things?
No, it's my wife over here. We did a bulk grocery shopping run and got some fruit. So she's like, try these grapes. They're like rock hard and they're like 90% sugar content, basically.
That's awesome. That's delicious. Did you get the cotton candy grapes?
I tried those. They're pretty darn good. They almost taste like the sweetest kiwi you would ever think about. It has a little bit of like a little bit of a bitterness into it, but extremely sugary. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't thinking kiwi when I tried it, but now that you say that, yeah, I definitely kiwi.
I think you can hear the crunch on this thing, like
it's like a carrot.
Yeah. They're not frozen. They're like room temperature because we were riding around town and we had to make a couple little stops after getting groceries, which is not a wise thing to do with frozen goods in the car, but we made it work.
Nice. Frozen grapes are like my favorite summer treat.
Yeah. We'll have like half the box fresh, and then the other half frozen because we're not gonna kill all of them by ourselves. They're gonna start turning into like little saggy raisins before we finish up.
Ruger float sounds delicious right now, Crispy. I asked a question, and if you replied, I'm sorry. But do you prefer crispy or do you prefer brutal? I'm scrolling up to see if you replied and if I just missed it. So I'll call you whatever you want to be called.
Crispy.
Still yet to handle a Kunwa. That's okay, Kyle.
Speaking of Kunwas, I finally made all the videos on the ones you sent me. So I'm so sorry, dude. I've had these things for way too long, man. But
I don't care. Like I wouldn't have sent them if I like needed them immediately back.
Yeah.
That's why I chose some of the ones. Like there were other ones that I was like, I'll send them this, but I didn't want you to feel like you had to get them back immediately. And I carry some of those. The ones I sent you, I don't carry all that often, really. So that's why I was like, I can send these and not worry about it.
Well, they're good. They're safe. They're back in their case. They're all nice and cleaned. 3 of them I did sharpen, so you're probably gonna start using them again. So they have pretty nice edges.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you were like, "Hey, can I sharpen some of these?" I was like, "Please do." Most of them I have never touched. They just have a factory edge that has went well worn down.
These were gone. Like what I mean by gone, I mean like they're not even geometry of the blade shape could help push through material. If I had to cut an apple with one of them, like I would basically just make it into sauce, at that point. Which is obviously, a testament to how often you use them, because they're great knives, they really are. But it's crazy to see how fast they moved from some of their earliest stuff to checking out like basically their latest production thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane. I wouldn't say night and day difference, but the value has been there from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they definitely do still hold up. And a lot of my videos that are still coming out sometime this week and towards next week, they all just kind of sound the same, honestly. Like, I'm ruining my own videos, which is fine, because it is what it is. But on a lot of them, I say that I wish the ones that have been discontinued would be brought back and just given the sauce that they're giving to them now, you know, with their new stuff. I think they'd honestly be a hit, because they do feel different. You know, they do look a little different. Lines are cleaner, things are tighter, sharper, you know, sharp where they should be. And I mean, the factory edge on this compadre is insane. It's like TRM shadow equivalent. So I remember I had a similar experience with the TRM shadow. It was a wonderful factory edge.
Yeah, I think
all the other ones are clean and ready to go. I'm finishing up on the blade on the riffraff. I'm doing my best to like hand polish it.
Nice.
I've got it to the point where it is reflective. You just can't see yourself. If you have like your finger floating above it, you can see your finger fine. But I'm just like, gosh damn it, like I want to get this thing shinier. I know if I spend more time on it, I could probably get it shinier. But with,
you know, like 30 seconds after I open it up, it's gonna be all smudged over.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to put, you know, all that I could into it without having to get like an actual, like, you know, buffing wheel and polishing compounds and stuff like that. I still have a little bit of that kind of stuff, but I'm working with a Dremel, so there's only so shiny I can get.
Yeah. I also really appreciate Kumu because they use T8 on almost everything.
Yeah, pretty much. This thing only has 3 T6s actually. The pocket clip screws, because it's shrunken down, and then the hardened steel insert over travel stop D10 ball thing. Yeah, that's a T6 as well. But I mean, they do great hardware, steel hardware, and well coated.
Yeah. Hero 6 was wondering what's the current, like, the top of your wish list.
Oh man, top of my wish
What's
list.
up, Ouchie? How you doing?
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there that I just drool over, but like a fantasy wish list or like a realistic wish list, if I sell all my knives and drop it all on one. Damn, that's hard. That's pretty tough.
I have a Rosie on my wish list.
I would love an XL Rosie. I think that it just looks the same idea of how I look at the XL Rosie is how I look at the difference between a Spyderco Para 3 and the PM2. I think the PM2, while it is a larger knife, I think it looks more attractive because it's lengthier. But I love the utility and the compact nature of the Para 3, but it's stumpy and ugly to me. So, but obviously the, you know, utility of it is undeniable. So
yeah,
I think there's a bigger fan base for the Para 3 than the PM2.
Yeah, I have a Rosie on my list, and I've got like a small Nkosi on my list as well.
Small Nkosi.
So like Chris Reeves, the small Nkosi in Singo, that's on my list right now.
Nice.
So, because all my CRKs are like large, and I
Mm-hmm.
really want an Nkosi, but I want one of the smaller handled ones because I can carry them a lot easier here. So I would say like Nkosi and Singo is probably on my list right now. That's probably near the top of my list because I think you can get those on the secondary for like, I don't know, 350, 400. So
Yeah.
depending upon how long you wait and where you get it from. So that's definitely on my list. But I would also, I saw a Protec Mordax on Blade Binge earlier tonight. It's got a pearl button.
Oh, is
and
the brass one?
Yeah, no. It's a blue honeycomb. It's from CCKS last year. And so it's a blue honeycomb. There were only 100 made. And I didn't even know it existed, but I saw it and I've wanted a Protec for a while. I want a Malibu, but I saw the Mordax and I was like, I could get that instead of a Malibu. And so, but I mean, I think there's too many things on my wish list.
Yeah, I'm with me all over the place.
Yeah,
And
I think
I love had the platform, but I would want things to be done to it, like hollow ground or maybe flipper tab delete or studs or a different deployment method that just doesn't exist in that platform. So I don't think my Grail exists yet.
if we go next likely purchases, mine would probably be like a McNeese.
Nice.
Like I think that's probably my next purchase because I think you can same thing. You can get some McNeese for under $500 on secondary.
Oh, definitely.
Pretty easily, and so that would be like a next purchase for likely because I'm probably not going to purchase a ton of stuff, and so like I would save up and probably get like a McNeese or something. For Grail, I still want a duck, a Utzler duck, or a duckling. I really, really, really want a Utzler duck or duckling. Like that's probably the top of my list for Grails.
Mm-hmm.
Second to like a lion steel or something like that. But there's a Utzler duck is probably the top of my list for Grails.
What's
I 100% would buy that knife.
You said lion something? I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Insingo Umnuzan. I would 100% buy that knife in a heartbeat. The Zan was like one of my more carried knives on my trip I took my Zan, I took my 4-inch Harsey, I took my Ragnarok, NCC Ragnarok, I took my Shiro Neon, and I took my Voodoo.
Nice.
Null Knives Voodoo. And those were like the 5 knives that I carried. I kept 4 in this little case, and then I would always have one on me. And those were like my main 5 knives for the last 2 weeks. And everywhere I went, my family was always like, how much does that knife cost? How much does that knife cost? And so I made my wife, she's got her Elementum, and she had my Elementum as well. So there were times I'd be like, give me my Elementum. I was like, why? I was like, because I'm sick and tired of my family making fun of me. So I just want to carry this one because I can be like, it's a $40 knife. Get out of my life. Like, stop.
Oh man, dude, I run into the same thing. I tend not to tell my close family members how much of the it's cost of what I'm carrying because they'll typically be like, well, whatever. Mm-hmm. But when I tell them, oh yeah, I got this like $35, little budget beater here, they're like, oh, that's cool. That makes sense to non-knife people. And somehow I get more reaction out of the budget knives than I do the more expensive ones. Mm-hmm. And I mean, right now, currently, the most valuable piece of my collection is my large 31. That's not really saying much, but Yeah, I tend to run into a similar issue where I guess around family members, I just carry cheap stuff because I don't mind if they use it. So, um, and I finally thought of what I am actually going. Like my next purchase is going to be the Aurelia. Is it pronounced Aurelia from
Mhm.
Mangana Steel?
Mm-hmm.
I've had that window open on my phone for weeks now, and I'm just like, "Ah, it looks so good. I want to get it, but I'm paying off other stuff right now."
Actually, that will be my next purchase because I already pre-ordered it. So that will be my next purchase, the Aurelia.
Do you
But
know?
that's a good call, Knife Nut. A Ripley from Blessed Knives would be a really nice grail as well.
Do you know when that might be like available? Like towards the end of the year or next year? The Aurelia
It's whenever he hits his
goal.
so pre-order only. Once he places the order, 3-out production will take up to 4 months. And I don't think he's placed the order yet because he's waiting for a couple more people to do pre-order.
Okay. I'm probably, because I'm still currently paying things off right now. I have like cold steel that I owe like $50. I have things on like payment set up.
Yeah.
Like just last week, I finally paid off the Chris Reeve. I was making like $160 payments on it. So, and my wife was just like, "You're making payments on a knife? Then you shouldn't be buying that knife." And I'm like, no, you don't understand. During the time that I'm paying it, I actually sold other knives. So technically, I take that money and I put it towards the balance that I owe. Complete bullshit. I went and freaking bought another knife.
What's up, Todd Carr? I tried to explain to someone else, and I was like, "Look, here's the thing. I pre-ordered this knife, and it's not here yet. So I already paid for it, and it's gonna be here. So it's already in my collection. So I can't think of it like that money's gone, but the knife is coming. I've already bought it. So when I sell this knife, it's basically like I'm getting free money because I've already paid for that one and it's on its way. So now I can use this money to buy another knife and bring it into my collection."
Exactly.
My wife does not like that method.
I don't understand how she doesn't understand. That's like basic math, you know?
Exactly.
That's just, you're speaking English to me, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's knife math is what it is.
Pretty much.
It's like there's the memes and stuff of like guy math and girl math. And like if you give girl cash, she's like, "Oh, this is free money because it's not in my account. Like I got free money." It's like, "No, you don't have free money. It's part of your money." It's like, "No, because it's not in my account, so it's free money." But that's how knife math. That's how knife math works.
Free credit cards like free money.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I feel like when I explain to people,
"What's up, David Jewell?"
I probably have to do it like 2 times a day while I'm at work, explaining to people why certain things cost what they do without spending all day talking to them. I feel like that one dude.
That's exactly what it is. Knife math is girl math. That's what it is. I get free money, and then I can just use that to buy another knife.
I think it was from the movie Pacific Rim or something, where there's like a meme floating around with a screenshot of a dude. He's like all cracked out looking, and there's like post-it notes and strings going everywhere. He's one of the actors from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Damn, I forgot his name, but that's how I feel when I explain knife money stuff to people. So
I heard a stud named Aurelia.
Stud. Yeah, but I've been eyeing that.
I don't think you named Aurelia, did you? No, you didn't. There's no way. You can't talk about yourself as a stud either. It's not flattering to call yourself a stud, Palmer.
It does look like the tip is a little bit higher than I would prefer, but if I can...
On the Aurelia?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so nice. It is so nice. I am trying so hard to get Sharif to sell me the prototype because the prototype is in S45. No, the prototype's an M390, and he's making it in MagnaCut. So I was like, I'll take the M390 prototype. I will gladly have the M390 prototype.
Uh-huh.
I already paid for a MagnaCut production run, so like I'll have two, and I'll be so happy. Then I could send one to Knife Modders and have them do something, and just sell my like child to pay for it.
Child.
But like I can do that. That'll be awesome.
Pick another one.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy. I got all the parts.
Infinite.
Oh, hey.
Funny mod glitch.
Speaking of the Aurelia, here's Sharif.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
How you been?
How are you doing?
It's been a roller coaster lately, but on the whole, doing good.
I saw your Instagram post right before I went live, so I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. Tonight I had my first meal since Sunday, like full, not even like a full plate of food, but
yeah,
I had some spaghetti with ground meat, like no sauce, no nothing. First thing I've been able to like keep down. So I am stomach is I hate stomach stuff. Pisses me off.
It's the weirdest stuff because like I feel like I will get a stomach bug for like a month. Like it'll be like a month or two, and it'll like come and go. And I agree with you. I hate stomach stuff because I feel like there's nothing you can do for it. Like
literally,
you'll have some antibiotics that work for a little bit, and then I feel like a week later it comes back and it's the same bug, but it's now resistant to those. And like Pepto never works. And yeah, I agree with you. Stomach stuff sucks.
Dude, for this one, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. So, like, I've been trying to, like, get into shape and lose weight and stuff, which I've been doing a good job of. But I've been also, like, supporting it with Ozempic, right? So, like, diet, exercise, and then adding that on top. The usual, like, doctor recommended kind of stuff. And I think what I did was, with Ozempic, like it's a subcutaneous injection, so you inject it like into your skin, you know. And so what I think I did, because you're supposed to inject it in your stomach, I injected it too high. And I think I was actually like not. So you're not supposed to inject it into your stomach. You're supposed to inject it into your belly, right?
Yeah.
I did it too high, and I think I did it right next to my stomach. And so the medication, you know, it spreads from like under your skin to the surrounding areas to pick up whatever blood vessels. And I think it's just been sitting there, and like the medicine's been going through my stomach, and my stomach's like, yo, that shit we got to digest, bro. And then there's nothing there, you know? So it's like, it's trying to work super hard, and there's like, just air. So I've been like burping, and anything I like eat or ate before was just like irritating it. So I'm like, okay, enough. Give me my life back, please. I have shit to do.
Well, you look pretty lively, so that's a good thing.
Hey, you know, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal, you know. But just, you know, like a bug, like you were talking about, like it just sucks, you know. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I agree, Palmer. I should start popping it in the butt cheek.
Kyle, what'd you do to your shoulder?
Oh, what'd you do, Kyle?
Yeah, what'd you do to your shoulder? He was chatting earlier, and now all of a sudden he messed up his shoulder. This had to have happened in the last like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, ouchie, I would probably bet that was the reason.
That's 100% where my mind went. I was like, oh, that happened to Kyle. That's what happened to Kyle's shoulder. He threw it out.
You yank it too hard.
He got too excited when Sharif jumped on. And then Kyle's like, oh, I threw out my shoulder now.
I mean, when Sharif shows up with the orange drink, you know, I know it's hard for Kyle to resist.
I had the buckhorn. I sent it off a while ago, I did a video on it a while ago too. That's Ken Onion's new design with Katua. No,
How did you like it?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Not as much as the Aurelia. I like the Aurelia way more. When you're ready to sell me a prototype, just let me know.
Well, there are 8 more of the finalized revised coming within the next week or 2 at the most, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do the finalized revised ones have Magna Cut, or do they still have M390?
Fingers crossed they're going to do Magna Cut. I actually didn't ask for that. I just asked for the primary revisions.
Yeah.
But yes, 8. 8 because I want to
set them out.
Yeah, I really want to flood the reviewers, but I'm also going to I want to hold a couple for distributors and dealers. And then there are actually a couple of like websites that I'm in the process of reaching out to that are pretty big, like Gear Patrol and like a few others that do, like Gear Patrol previously like showed off my Grazioso with Kaiser when it came out back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then there's others like High Consumption and stuff like that. And like, they're the type of websites that report on a lot of stuff like James brand kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And to like the non-knife world. So I think, dude, the Aurelia, I mean, if they're willing to pay for James brand, kind of stuff, the Aurelia is way better. So, no.
My name's reviewer.
So, yeah. Yeah, so there's it's not a typical response that I've had. And there's another additional factor that I'm not talking about that I think also played a factor. If it does repeat, though, I'll probably have to get off of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the Aurelia. I was just telling. I was like, before you jumped on, I was like, I want Sharif to sell me one of the prototypes so I can send one out to like knife modders and have them like doll it up all to the wall. And then I pre-ordered one. So when that one gets here, I can have like my user that I always go out with, and then like my Safe Queen Aurelia.
Nice.
There are a few knives that I want to do that with. The Aurelia is one of them. The Kumu Compact Tau, because this is one of my favorite knives as well.
Yeah.
But they haven't remade this knife in a long time, and I look for this knife all the time, and I never see it. So if anyone in the chat ever sees a Compact Tau available, unmodded, let me know, because I want to jump on that and get a second one.
So I'm not active on Facebook, but there is a group called Knives and Trees, if I'm not mistaken.
Stevie sent it to me. I look at their stuff. He posts like every 2 weeks. He'll post like 300 knives.
Yeah.
And they're great prices too. Like he posts some. They're all used. Yeah, they're all used, but they're in good condition. And he posts some really good pricing on them too. For the most part, sometimes they're a little like that's a little much, but for the most part, they're really good. There's a Kumu Facebook group that posting all the time, but I'm not like active on Facebook. Like I have a Facebook, I'll check it once every other day or so, and I've seen some on there go for sale, but I'm usually too late to jump on it, because usually within an hour or two someone's like, oh, I'll take it, DM sent, and I see it 2 days after the fact, and I'm like, I would have bought that.
Yeah. Dude, you know what you should just do? Throw up a post in there and say WTB want to buy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about that too.
Yeah, because I don't like Facebook. I don't want to be on there every day, like trying to snipe something, like, so. Dude,
I always get worried though, because when you throw up like a willing to buy or want to buy something, then you get a bunch of like scammers who throw stuff up there for you.
Speaking of like getting mods done, did you see this laser job that they did?
Yes.
The weave.
I fucking love that.
But
for
it's like
some
two
reason.
tone. It's not just the diamond weave. Like
Yeah,
each diamond has a different like directional to it. It's pretty sick.
dude, I really love this. Like, I would love to have an Aurelia lasered in like a pattern like this.
I would match
Yeah.
the stuff from Joe too.
Yeah,
Like the leathering that you have from Joe, it would definitely match
yeah.
that. That's pretty
Oh,
sick.
100%, right? Or, dude, imagine an Aurelia with like something like this lasered into it.
Yeah.
Like, be so sick.
Yeah.
Any chance of reverse tux Aurelia?
So my whole plan with the Aurelia is okay. So just a little bit of like my experience. I am not big enough to offer multiple versions of stuff yet, right? And guarantee that like each one will like sell, you know? So I learned that with the purple haze and the micarta on the kimonos, right?
Yeah.
And so like I still have a fair amount of kimonos, of the micarta kimonos left, right? I'm almost out of the purple haze ones, like completely. You know, I probably have like under 15, maybe, you know. So with the Aurelia, I really wanted to kind of limit the different variations and then give people a platform where they could customize and make it completely their own. You know,
It looks definitely, because it seems like there are so many little bits and pieces that could be taken apart. Nothing's like what is it, friction fit? Where you
right?
move it, everything should be able to be anodized or given a texture or a lasering job.
Right.
That's why I believe Hero Sticks had asked the question, what's our like next realistic purchase, and that's my next one pretty much. I just got no monies right now because I'm picking up for a trip, but that is definitely on the list for next purchases.
Dude, I mean, I you should tell people a little bit more about like the back end of this kind of stuff, because like I don't think people really understand. Like, dude, like laser engravers are not cheap, right? Like,
No.
what's it called? The power regulator stations that let you do like high voltage that people use for anodizing, those aren't cheap, you know. So like if you really want to start doing like heavy duty modding, like shit gets expensive quick.
I mean, I got my dinky little setup, and inconsistencies galore, really. But every once in a while, I turn out something interesting looking. So,
Dude, I'd love to. You know that purple, like borderline mirror, like ano you did. I'd love to see more of that. You know, like
when I get my Aurelia, I'll make it purple.
hell yeah.
What's
dude.
up, Winnie? Hello and goodbye.
Manchester. Hello, goodbye.
Good.
Yeah, man. Dude, I think like modding right now, honestly, modding to me is a little bit more exciting of a concept than a lot of the new models that are coming out. I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel about what you're seeing.
Dude,
I
people
100%
out there?
agree.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of really good knives out there from 2023 and 2022 that I'm like, hey, I would love to just get another one of these and get it modded the way I want it to. Send it to someone and get some anodization, get some rock scales, get some jimping added, acid wash, like do some Cerakoting, whatever you want to do to it. Like, I would rather get some older knives and put some modding on them rather than get some of the new models that are coming out, because some of the new models that are coming out, they're not appealing. They're not appealing in any way.
Right? Nathan, do you agree? Is there anything that you're like, no, this thing's coming out that I'm excited for?
Nothing within the range that I could afford currently. So with trying to speak realistically, Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree with you guys. I'm definitely not the channel or the person to always be chasing the latest and greatest. Every once in a while, that something does come out that are like that I know I'm gonna love, like the compact Padre.
Mhm.
That thing's great. I love it, and I think it's even better than the full size. I'm happy with my choice. But there are some things that I absolutely agree with what Steven said, where there are older models out there that are wonderful platforms that you can build upon to make it
Mhm.
special and unique. And that there are so many models coming out every single year. Things just kind of get lost. Everybody has like their model come out with maybe 20 seconds of fame and that's it, and then it just gets
Right.
buried under a bunch of other stuff. And similarly, when it comes to trying to sell some stuff, I noticed that Blade Binge has this little boost feature where, because people post so many knives every single day to sell, if you're selling stuff on Blade Binge, there's a little boost feature that you can do, I think, 3 times within a certain time period, and it basically just shoots your listing back up to the top first couple pages.
I think it's got to be like 7 days or 3 days or something. It's like,
there's a time frame to it. There's a window, and it helps to get stuff looked at easier, because not everybody's going to want to look through 100 pages,
Right.
30 knives per page.
Right.
Or maybe some people don't really know what they're looking for. Like me,
Yeah.
I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm looking for. But I go to Blade Binge every day and a lot of other websites daily, and I just browse. I just to see like what's out there, what are new trends coming up. And realistically, I find myself checking up on older stuff, seeing if it's still available, seeing what can I do to that, and is it worth doing that? Or, oh, hey, there's this cheap two-sun knife that I can get, plenty of blade stock thickness that I can send to get hollow ground. I can do some anodizing, all the little pieces come apart, stuff like that. But then how much am I gonna realistically invest into it to get stuff done to it, like the laser engraving mentioned as well? I don't have anything in my collection that's surface level engraved, because it is expensive. So
man, I'm with you. Like, when I look at stuff nowadays, it's mostly to see like, okay, what's new? Is anybody bringing out anything that's interesting? And I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm on the other side of the industry now, where it's like I'm not just collecting, I'm creating. I'm looking at, and I hate to say this, right, but I'm looking at what's coming out of like a lot of the factories and what's planned for the rest of the year, and I'm bored. Like, it's a lot of drop points. I was talking about that with Maddie yesterday night.
All of Kaiser's recent release, they're all drop points.
I didn't say it, but I'm not arguing that point with you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Kaiser, freaking, with all their stuff. So,
bro,
those are knives for knife enthusiasts to buy for their loved ones, to hope that they would spark something.
Yeah.
Those are gift knives. That's what they are.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I hear that. I also think that like a lot of that is also community driven, to a sense that like so many of the community knives that have been designed, that have been picked up in the last year, and I'm not saying this to smack down on anyone, but so many of the community knives that have been designed and come out have been drop points.
Oh yeah.
And so
either that's drop point or Cleaver, Warncliffe, Sheep's Footy. Those two are exclusive.
And if that's going to be the
option to work with too, there's only so much.
And if that's going to be the case, then like that's where they're gonna drive their in-house design to.
Right. But that's such an interesting thing to me, right? Because like I definitely would love. This is actually really great because this has been on my mind lately. I do want to pick both your brains about what are some of the trends that you guys see developing, where you see kind of like the market going, because I love hearing people's perspectives on stuff like that. But dude,
What was that? What
like
was that?
EDC Roundtable, Lancelot Leather. Use
Code
code
Mango.
WKB10. Get 10%
Mango.
off.
Yeah, dude. EDC Roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
I
Joe?
want to get a standard bifold wallet. I don't know if he makes one. I think he does. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Lancelot.
I think Joe's in the chat. He was earlier.
EDC Roundtable.
Bifold wallet. I need one because my current wallet's looking a little rough. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing in there, but somehow it looks rough. You know. Let me go spend money that doesn't actually exist on the new wallet to not put anything in it.
Not put any money in.
Yeah, plastic, just all plastic. So,
I know I have a tool here somewhere. Where the heck?
Ooh, that's it. Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, dude. I just saw something and it was like, whip, my brain like processed 10 things in a split second.
I watched was it NAF's their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
NAF company, and I think it was last week they put out a video where someone had made a comment or asked a question. It was like the hot topic of the main video, where both Zach and crap, I forgot the other guy's name.
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
The actual owner of the company.
Yeah, the originals of freaking Belated. I can't believe that. That's embarrassing. Watch those guys together all the time. Like I'm talking like 6-7 years ago. I would just binge all their stuff. But yes, both Ben and Zach, they were on this one episode recently, and someone had made a comment, or basically the topic was community designs, and if they are welcomed or not, or what are some people's thoughts on it. And I think it's awesome that YouTubers or other people who may not be YouTubers but are influencers in a way are able to reach out to companies and be like, hey, I have this voice, we can make something for the community because this is what the people want. And what I see, what happens is that when something hits the market that's made by an influencer, and it just you see a flooding your YouTube feed of all different people checking out the same thing. I start seeing when these OEM companies start producing their own models, it seems as though they take ideas. I'm not saying stealing.
They definitely take ideas.
But they absolutely take ideas and implement them in their in-house designs. And that's completely okay. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it because you have the original pieces that are, higher end, maybe a little bit more detail or thought behind it. And then the in-house designs are simplified versions of it that I would classify as knives to gift to non-knife people, or Christmas or their birthday, or maybe if you can't afford the spicy one and you want to get something of a similar general shape, you can have that. You can beat on it all day and not worry about it because it was inexpensive. Yeah, but I think influence designs are absolutely welcomed. I don't think that it's fair if people who are super deep down when it comes to designing, that's like their whole life, they went to school for it, their whole life has been invested into it. If they are shutting down other people on their creativity or wanting to produce something for the community. Some people may look at particular designs as, cash grabs, money grabs, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But want to put something out there and just make a bunch of money. But realistically, how much profit is there in, designing one or two bangers and that's it?
There's
Decent amount of profit if you design two bangers.
there's tens of thousands of dollars at stake there.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
See,
Like-
I wouldn't know that. So I'm just speaking from my tiny little corner.
I would say Ben, look at NAFs. Ben would not have his company if it wasn't for like the banter, the baby banter, some of his Kaisers that became amazing bangers that just
They were
went through
budget.
the roof.
Yeah. And he built his business off of the licensing of that stuff, right?
And
If
and
so-
then he's got like they just released the NAFs Lander 4, which is a fixed blade version
Yeah.
on Kickstarter. And then he made basically like if you look at this compared to like the banter and the baby banter and everything, it's a thinner version of the same. Like he basically just said,
It's
"Hey, I'm
the
gonna go to
same.
NAFs. Yeah, I'm gonna go to NAFs and I'm gonna make my own company NAF and do it," which
Yeah.
is great. And he will be the first person to say there's many videos of him saying like, "Hey, I don't make funny knives. I don't make exciting knives. I make a useful tool, a really good useful tool, and I open source my scale so anyone can customize it the way they want, and that's what I do." And he
I
makes
love that. That's
really
welcoming to a lot of people
exactly
who have the
and he does it for a
3D
good
print
price, but it's a banger that he's made tens of thousands of dollars on.
So the I can tell you just again, I'm not going to get into like the small detail specifics, but I can tell you that I'm not an influencer. When the Grazioso came out, very few people really even knew me or about me, which I wouldn't say people really know me now either, but regardless, even still, I can tell you, for example, over the course of like 2021, 2022, my total royalty checks are definitely low 5 figures. And I'm not an influencer, right? So if you think about somebody, for example, like Steven was talking about with Ben Banters, right?
Yeah.
You can push that number up at least 5 times. At least like 5 times. Yeah. So that is so on the point of influencers. I'm one of those people, like I went to school for design. Design is my life. Not necessarily like knife design, but I am an industrial designer since I was born, basically, right? I have no problem with influencers like creating designs, bringing new stuff to the market, as long as it's not a cash grab. If you're building something, great, right? But my issue is more this sort of like prostitute approach where it's like, yo, man, I know I've got a limited time in this place. I need to get in and get in my money and get the fuck out, right? Like, which is inherently, there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. Like, ride a wave, ride the trend, get your bag, because that's all business, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is the people who come in, ride the wave, and get the fuck out, they usually don't build and contribute to the community, right? And that's more of my issue, right? It's like
I'm a knife hooker.
Cheeto W. What up, Cheeto?
I'll do
What up,
anything for
Christy?
your knife.
That's why, like, I will announce that, like, I've been working with a company to get some knives made. That I licensed one of my designs to a company. Sharif knows this already, but I've licensed my design to a company, and I'm excited to work with them. But like, I've also still got like 3 or 4 other designs that I've been working on. That once this knife gets made, I'm able to take that money and then make a production run of like my
Mhm.
newest knife, my Esk, which I really really like, and that's where like I agree with Sharif. Like when you have someone who's like, hey, here's my 1, 2, 3, and I'm done.
Yeah.
And they never run a company. They never try and reach out. They never do anything. They just try and go with it. I'm like, what did you offer to us?
Yeah.
You saw what was popular. You altered it, and then you took your money and ran. And now you're off doing something else. Like maybe you made a great knife. Maybe you made a banger and it was awesome. But you weren't part of the community. You didn't enhance the community in any way, and
Exactly.
you really didn't invest into the community in any way either. So it's challenging for me to stand by and say, yes, I want all of these to happen, because too many people are knife hookers, and they want to just have their cash grab and run.
Yeah.
So
Now, what would you guys say are, I guess, telltale signs of seeing something like that? It's just a cash grab, where it's not something that's
So
going to be influential and groundbreaking to the community overall.
So the thing for me is like, okay, there's 3 versions of me. There's me, the collector, there's me, the businessman, and then me, the designer, right?
Yes.
Me as the collector and me as the designer wants to see cool shit, you know?
but you could probably find a discount code scrolling across the bottom.
Right?
How'd that get there?
How did that get
Wow,
there?
look at that. What does that say? Work knife balance 10? Wow.
But so like I just want to, of course. What's up, Stevie?
A butt tubba spelled backwards is a butt tubba.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing, Stevie?
Sorry,
Sharif. Telltale signs.
no, it's all good.
Cash grab.
But yeah, like the designer and the collector in me wants to see like cool shit, you know. The businessman side of me is like, go get your money, player. You know what I mean? Like, so it's hard for me to sit here and throw stones, right? I just wish.
Yeah. In a perfect world, you know.
Right. Like people would innovate and like move things a little bit forward, or like, you know, even just something as simple as doing something that hasn't been seen before, you know, a unique combination. Maybe you haven't seen this handle with that blade or this proportion, or, you know what I mean? But to answer your question more specifically, telltale signs, hype, like literally is hype, right? Look at all of the custom makers. Look at all of the guys who are fucking established, right? They don't hype. They don't influence their market. You don't see Pena like dumping, 10 knives to every reviewer saying, hey, you can keep these, right? In order to, as long as you promote my brand, right? You don't see shit like that. You don't see people also, another telltale sign is when people start like trying to tell you false information, and like verifiably false, right? So I won't point fingers, but there have been some people lately who are like, S90V is the only fucking decent steel, blah, 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 right? Which is total fucking bullshit, right? Like, you're wrong.
I've had S90V, I've had mediocre, and I've had incredible S90V.
Thank you, right?
It's all over the place. And my worst S90V came from Spider.
See, that's crazy.
It was a bad run. It was a bad run, and many people claimed at the time that it was a Para 3 lightweight teal scales.
Yeah,
it was like 2 years back. It was a bad.
I remember.
Everybody said this feels soft, but somehow really chippy at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I was still relatively early on in sharpening harder steels. So I was just like, yeah, this thing is a little chippy. I'm trying to put a polished edge on it. It's just not taking it.
Mhm.
I got some like a Chinese made S90V knife, and it felt better. And then I can't remember what it was, but I remember having something that was really, really like hard S90V, but I wasn't getting any chippiness from it. And I think maybe, just maybe, my sharpening just got a little bit better. So that could have been it. But no, S90V is not, it's not the it right now. It's great. It's awesome, but it's not,
Exactly. Well, here's the thing, okay? There is no empirically best steel, okay? So any of you guys who go into other live streams and shit, anybody who tells you that one steel is the god steel, they're a fucking idiot. Like categorically an idiot right from the get-go, right? Old saying, right? Like, a stupid man thinks he knows everything, but a wise man knows he knows nothing, right? Anybody who tells you concretely, like, this is the only way, usually they're the stupidest person in the room. Right? So the thing is, S90V is a phenomenal steel. It's a great EDC steel. But it's not a steel that you can harder use. It's just not within its properties, right? It's really, really good at edge retention, but that depends. What's your geometry? What's your, your edge bevel set at? What's the heat treat, right?
Yeah.
So, like, nothing can empirically be good with that many variations,
So, my experience with S90V has been damn near the same as CPM M4.
Yeah.
Besides the corrosion proof difference, but its edge retention, toughness, how chippy or how soft or how easy it is to roll, those have been quite the same. So I treat them the same. I sharpen the same, really.
Yeah, I get that. So
for me, a telltale sign of like cash grab is someone who, like I said, hasn't invested in the community. And what I mean is, like, you don't need to monetarily invest in the community, but someone who will throw it as, like, you hear about it. I'm going to put a knife up that clearly is not a hype knife, whatever. This knife just came out. It's fantastic. It's by this maker. Don't know who they are. Let me look them up for a little bit. Oh, cool. Looks like they've done some stuff in this year before, whatever, and they send it to a ton of companies. I will tell you, one of the companies that comes to mind is Remet. Hype knives that are, a lot of their knives are designed after other knives. A lot of their knives are designed very similar to other knives. Yeah. They send things out to a lot of reviewers. They say, hey, buy my knife, do the video, and then I'll pay you back via PayPal or Venmo or whatever it may be. And like, anytime something like that is happening to me, I'm like, okay, you're trying to build your brand, or you're trying to just get a cash grab. And the difference to me is, if you're building your brand, you're doing stuff like this. Like, for as much as people want to balk at Jack Wolf knives and the cost of their knives and what they are and everything, Ben Belkin will get out in the community and talk to people. Ben Belkin will get out in the community and say, hey, if you don't like my knives, you don't have to buy them. Sorry, not Ben Belkin. No, Jack that's Wolf. Ben Belkin. Yeah, Jack Wolf, Ben Belkin. Ben will get out there, and Jack Wolf Knives will get out and talk about his knives, and he'll say, hey, look, I built this company. I like these knives. I like what's going on, and he'll talk about it. So, like, are his knives expensive? Yes, 100%. Are most people going to think that they're overpriced? In the community, I think you're going to find a mix. People who love them and pay for them, and people who think they're overpriced. But nonetheless, he's invested in the community. He's enhanced the community. He's really kind of brought back that game of slip joint. And to me, that's not a cash grab. That's someone who really wants to.
The modern slip joint guy.
Exactly. And he's 100% brought something to the community that was not there. Whether you love him or hate him, he has
Right.
done positive for the community. And to me, you can't say that's someone who's a cash grab or doing whatever or anything like that.
I hate to agree because I may not like him personally, but I agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. The only slip joints, modern slip joints that you could buy before Jack Wolf were Peñas, actually. And they were rare. Like, he put one out maybe every couple of years through Riyadh, right? So there were no modern slip joints, really, or like new interpretations of slip joints before Jack Wolf, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, see, people don't like him, and I can't necessarily disagree with that assessment. But
at the
what's
same
the
time,
thing?
I
It's corrupt.
don't know the guy. I got nothing.
I was going to say, at the same time, there's going to be people who are polarizing like that. You're either going to love him or hate him. But at the same time, he has 100% invested and enhanced the community when it comes to something like that. It is not a cash grab. No matter who the person is, whatever you may think about him personally, 100% has invested into the community.
Right. And
Winter Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Winter Blade's a great example.
Weird stuff. And that's
Weird,
undeniably him, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like those are like, again, you know, you may love or hate the people, but if they're at least moving, you know, the ball forward a little bit, like, I'm good with them, you know? And like, I don't know, I want to see more cool shit, right? And like, you know, cool shit and innovative stuff, I think is just, it's lacking. We've gone through this, right? Like,
that's why I want Cole to make some of his knives.
Yeah.
Some of his knives are cool as shit.
Yeah.
Some of Cole's knives, his designs are so unique and different and really cool. Some of Cole's knives are awesome. And I really want Cole to make them, but
yeah, 100%. Yeah, so
not Tri-State Cole or a different Cole?
No. BAZ, Broke Ass Knives.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just like, wait a minute. Something's not right.
AKA good old Lungbone.
Yep, Lungbone.
Good old Lungbone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would look at too. Also, I would say if someone's got 2 or 3 designs and they're working with multiple companies, they're clearly not a cash grab because they're continuing to try and like expand to companies and expand to other areas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dead Sober Designs, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, man. Like, and that's really like all I care about. I know, like, for example, Shane, you know, Edgy Blade Work, not Edgy Blade Work, sorry, Edgy American. You know, he's been on his thing lately where he's really like anti a lot of the people who are getting their knives made overseas in China, you know? And while I understand his position very intimately, the thing is, and I was telling this to Maddie yesterday, right, is that in any community, you have to apply the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the people will be legit. They're here for it. They're here for the community to build, grow, you know, expand, do things the right way, right? And 80% of the people will be Johnny-come-latelys. They'll be here for a minute. They'll be gone to the next. Life, you know, will take them in and out, whatever, right? But they won't be as serious as that 20%, right? And you just have to get okay with that, man. Like, I've been in so many communities, whether it's like the drone stuff, car stuff, gun stuff, you know, knife stuff. Oh, you don't know. I used to build and make drones for high-speed applications and racing.
What the hell? That is so cool.
I had the world record for top speed for like a couple of months, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, this was back like 2014, 2015, 16, 17. You know?
Bone.
Yeah, dude. Long bone.
I was just looking at Cole's website and I saw something that I haven't seen yet. He made a freaking shirt for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had not seen this, but it's got the WKB and on it, and it says the anonymous EDC everyday carry gear YouTuber known only by his handle Cookie Pants has built a reputation for his meticulously reviews and unboxing videos. His viewers trust his opinions, and his channel grew in popularity. But little did he know, Cookie Pants harbored a secret obsession: oatmeal raisin cookies, which I absolutely hate. He loved everything about them. Chewy texture, the sweetness, the subtle spice. However, his passion took a dark turn. His dreams became haunted by oatmeal raisin cookies. Find himself drowning in a sea of cookies with raisins staring at him like beady eyes. Trying to escape the monstrous creatures chasing him through the never-ending labyrinth. This is amazing. This is amazing. Oh,
Good old Longbone.
this is awesome. Yeah, he's you go to Lungbone stuff, he's got all this really. He's got his Marty's Lament shirts. He's got the Wang Gang stuff.
Yeah.
He's got the meh. If you go down here, he's got Carl Oni Chan right here. He's got Stevie's artisanal pickles as well. So he's got some really good like community stuff, which is pretty cool. So the fact I saw this, he posted this logo a while ago, sent it to me, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I did not realize what he had done with it. This is super cool. Now I gotta buy a shirt.
Yeah.
And then
dude,
the
that's pretty
WKB is want a cookie, brah?
cool.
You want a cookie, brah?
Nice.
I thought that's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Hell yeah.
When Cole watches this, he'll be able to see that. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, El Cap, for posting Longbone's website there. But yeah, there's Longbone's website. You can go get stuff from a couple people.
Nice.
So this was what I was doing before I started designing and making knives. This was the size of the drones that I was making right before I kind of retired out of that business.
That's awesome. That's huge.
Oh yeah, these things were good for like 140 miles an hour top speed.
That's insane.
Yeah, these were about 4.5 feet from end to end without the propellers.
Oh man.
So they're big boys. I mean, like, you can see how big it is next to this dude, and he's a 6 foot tall guy. So
What were like the main body? Is it like a composite material?
it's all carbon fiber.
All carbon fiber.
All carbon fiber. Yeah. And like you can see it here, it's like a plate, and then we sandwiched it with the arms and all of this stuff. Yeah, I designed and built all of these. Actually,
that's crazy.
yeah, like there's some pictures here from before when like, so I got my lead pilot, and a few other people to like help me out with the build process.
Mhm.
And we built like, I want to say 25 or 30 of those, and we had to ship them internationally for this racing series.
So was this just a custom thing that you used to do, or you designed them and then would have a company manufacture and sell them?
So basically what I did back in the day was, so I designed all of these drones that are like on this website. I would design them, test them. They were built for different applications. So some were high speed, some were for like, flying and fun and whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would work with like a USA based guy who could not water jet, but could cut carbon fiber and he would send me all of the plates and parts. And for the smaller ones, I just throw them into a bag and like put my label on them and ship them to people. The big ones, I was super controlled about who could buy them because, like, dude, to build one of those was something like 1.5 grand for the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
So each one was 1.5 G's.
That's insane.
That's a good chunk of money for a speedy drone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That
So
I would most likely crash.
Oh no, you do crash. You absolutely crash, but I designed mine not to break when you crash them.
That's good.
So like this was the first time we started attempting the speed record, and there you can see like first time out we did 131 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is, dude, all of my drones that I used to fly were stupid fast because like
Do you have any little clips?
I do. But yeah, so like while I pull up the clip, like I built my own motors and all of that stuff for these guys. So we were able to get some like crazy speeds and shit out of them. I think this is my favorite video. Beware, if you are prone to motion sickness, this may trigger you. No, I'll turn that down. It's too loud. But so yeah, this is me just like testing one of my new platforms. I'm going over 100 miles an hour right
Holy
That's
crap.
insane.
there. Yeah.
That's cool. My father-in-law, he would just lose his mind. That is so cool.
That's actually
And,
really cool.
And I was never even that like great of a pilot. There are people who are just unreal because that's all they do. I was more on like the creating side. But I mean, I had some skills.
Use like a specialty camera, or were they like GoPro kind of?
So we used both actually. Let me see if I can show you one right here. These guys, the smaller ones, what we would do is we have a camera right there. You see that little bit of orange in the front?
Yeah.
That's a specialty camera, and then we would use the GoPro sessions because
Good night, Neil.
Footprint. Good night, Neil.
Good night.
And then we would 3D print a little mount for it, and then we even had a little like section where you would slide an ND filter, so you could get really like smooth, sexy video out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because I mean that little clip that was pretty crispy. That was nice.
Oh, so this is like what we used to see before HD video came out.
It's so weird looking. It looks like a video game almost.
It does.
It feels like it.
That's so wild.
And now you've got the drones where you can put the headset on and fly it and see it as you're flying and stuff.
That's what we were doing.
I think those are so cool.
Yeah, that's all of this was that technology. So like if you see any of the guys, any of the racers, right, you'll see they have these things on their forehead.
Yeah.
Those are the analog goggles. Now everybody's using like digital HD video goggles to do all the flying, which is awesome. So yeah, like this was a lot of fun. I kind of miss flying. It's a very freeing feeling, but it's an expensive hobby. Like
you can say
each drone, if you're starting from scratch, your average drone would cost you, I don't know, like $500. The goggles are another like $300. The remote's another like few $100. Just to get flying, you're in for over $1,000. Like,
Good night, El Cap.
yeah, it's nuts.
Do you have to get an FAA license?
So yes.
If you fly over certain like speeds or
No.
heights, or
No, now they want all airborne drones to have essentially like a license plate number, so they can track it to the owner.
so
Uh,
if you just get like a drone from Costco, you don't have to. But like the super fancy ones,
Yeah, so there's like a threshold, like once you get past like toy level, when you can actually like, dude, with
do
those
stuff.
drones, yeah, with any of the ones that I was showing you there, like I could easily fly up to like over 1,000 feet plus
Oh wow!
in the sky. Connection, control, and video may be a challenge, but there are ways to get around that. And so once you're getting up above 400 feet, you're getting into like shared airspace with like helicopters and like airplanes flying in on approach to like airports. So like toy drones don't present a threat to that, but a carbon fiber race drone definitely does.
At 130 miles an hour.
Exactly. And now the rules have changed so that they don't want you flying anything over 250 grams. And that is incredibly lightweight. If I was trying to design and build a drone today to conform with that was like, a decent size, like we used to fly, be very challenging. So like all of the drones now are starting to shrink to comply with that 250 gram rule. So
Dang.
yeah. It's a crazy place, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of
Looks
fun.
like it, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, just like there, like it was, like it is what like Shane's kind of been complaining about now. We had our shills, we had our get rich quick people, we had the people who were like, fuck China, blah 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 blah. We had our people, we had all the same kind of stuff, and like, yeah, there's the people who survived doing or being in that community for more than 5 years, like the number exponentially like drops, so
Yeah.
like of my buddies who used to fly, and I knew pretty much everybody in Southern California, I can honestly say I could probably count it on one hand who passed the 5-year mark.
Dang.
Yeah. So Neil, I don't want to build drones anymore. I really don't. I will take what I have in my storage unit, pull it out, buy a fresh battery, and use what I have. I'm not building any new shit.
Good night, Knife Nut.
Good night.
We hit the 2 hour mark a little bit ago, so I'm probably gonna be calling it here. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Sharif, for joining.
Thank you
and
for
coming
having me.
back, making your comeback tonight with me. I appreciate that very much. So,
Of course.
and Nathan, thanks for. It's always a pleasure having you on here as well too.
Thank you, man.
So,
Thank you.
this was just a random Thursday night, so I'm glad that we were able to have some people join and have fun and everything. So, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Have a good night, everyone.
Little sneak peek.